Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to show you a super easy to follow route so you can get overpowered in Elden Ring at the very start of the game. Now this route anybody can follow regardless of skill level. We're only going to kill 3 enemies total, 1 doesn't fight back, 1 is extremely easy, and the last one is kind of optional. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is pick the samurai starting class, because we need a bleed weapon for this strategy. And the Uchi-katana is just that. I'd recommend the golden seed as your starting item, as this will give us more heals for our Estus flask. Go ahead and set up your character however you like. I'm going to use my Giga Chad preset. And don't worry, even though we're starting with the samurai starting class, by the end of this video you'll be able to pick whichever build you want. For all the running sections, I'm going to play those at 2 times speed so you can still follow along and not get lost. But it'll also make this video about 10 minutes shorter, because who has the time anymore? Okay, once we spawn in the tutorial boss, we're just going to jump off that cliff. Because win or lose, you have to die here anyways. Once we respawn in the next area, we're going to be given our 4 Estus flasks. But at the end of this video, we're going to have 8, and they'll be plus 5, meaning they'll heal us for far more than they do now. So once we're out of the underground area, we're going to go to the first merchant, Kale. We don't actually need anything from him, but he does chill here. And make sure to avoid the Tree Sentinel boss that patrols around this area. He's a bit tough at the starting level. And now that we're here, make sure to grab the smithing stone one on the anvil next to him, as well as this set of grace, because we're going to be coming back here later. Now we're going to run to the next set of grace so we can get our horse Torrent. There are 2 guards patrolling the woods, but just run past them, they aren't that threatening. And once we're at the second set of grace, sit down and watch the cutscene. Melissa here is going to give us our trusty steed and allow us to level up. Now I do want to pause here real quick. See this little red totem thing? That's where your map fragments are. I'm going to go ahead and spawn in the map fragments for myself to make this video much easier to follow. Go ahead and go back to the first church and talk to the Lunar Witch Ranni. She's going to give us our summoning bell that we can use to summon spirit ashes. After that, go back to Gatefront. Go ahead and summon Torrent and just go up this path here. You can just break right through these barriers, no problem. And I do have a mod for Torrent to make him look a little cooler, but that's the only mod I have on right now. Right here, we're going to grab our second golden seed, and then go up to the Stormhill Shack right up here. The dogs will aggro you, but they can't catch up to you. If they are coming after you, go ahead and get the set of grace and then sit down to reset their aggro. After that, go ahead and go to this little purple thing right here. This is going to be our first Stone Sword key that we need for this run. These keys unlock hidden areas, and there we go. There you can see the map now. So we're going to go over to this area, but don't worry, I will also show you the path here. Over here, we're going to have Warrior Jar Shard Alexander, an NPC that we could do a quest for that's going to span literally the entire game. Or we can actually kill him early and get his talisman. You can have up to 4 talisman slots, even though we just started, we can only have 1 slot. But I want to give you guys some really overpowered talismans at the start of the game that'll be good for almost every build.
Can you hear me? Help me.
So Alexander here is stuck in the mud. 3 heavy attacks should be enough to get him out of here. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and attack him as he's getting up. He's not very strong, and even if he does hit you, you should be okay. I actually did get hit by his 3-piece combo that he does sometimes, and it wasn't enough to actually kill me, so even if you get hit, you should be alright. Alright, go ahead and smack him like 1 or 2 times, that 1 time. And pick up the Warrior Jar Shard Talisman. Now this is going to give us 10% more damage to all of our Ash of Wars, which are our skill abilities. This talisman is literally good throughout the entire game. Grab all these set of graces on the way, and we're going to run past this pumpkin head. Make sure you pick up these smithing stone ones. These will be good for upgrading our Uchikatana later. Next, we're going to go into these watery ruins. That's going to give us the turtle talisman. And even though you can only equip one talisman right now, you can get your second talisman slot pretty early in the game. Alright, run past all these guys. You'll know you're in the right area once you see all the turtles. See, there's one right there on my left. And we're going to use that stone sword key we picked up. And there you go, the Ninja Turtles themselves. They've been hiding out here the whole time. And there's our second talisman, the green turtle. This one increases our stamina recovery speed by almost 18%. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on now. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and leave these ruins and go to our first church. Now, almost every church in the game has a sacred tier. And those are going to increase the power of our Estus Flask, rather than the number of heals. But equally important, this also has our Wondrous Physick. And that is a special flask that we can use once per sit down, that we can actually build however we want with our build. This one's going to give us the Crimson tier, but we're going to get 2 other ones on the way. All right, get this side of grace, because we will be coming back here in just a bit. And go to this first erdtree. Every time you kill an erdtree avatar, they do drop 2 new flasks, or pieces for your flask, I should say. But those require fighting, and we are very underleveled right now. But thankfully, these 2 are free. I jump over here, and then bam. Spike cracked and green spilled crystal tier. Next, we're going to go just a little bit further south to Fort Height. Here we're going to get another golden seed for our Estus Flask. You can go inside the fort. There is a Dectus medallion piece that it's not necessarily required, but most people do want to get for the lift. That's going to be about the halfway point during the game. But for this video, we don't need it. Alright, grab your golden seed and then go ahead and get out of combat. Just kind of jump down here. There we go. And we're going to go back to Gatefront. From here, go ahead and get on your torrent and start heading this way. Grab the grace just in case. And we are going to hear Bach here screaming for help, but we ain't got time for him. We only got 30 minutes to make this video. Go across the bridge. And you'll see up there a little crucifix that's like up on the mountain right there on your left. We're going to go ahead and go up here to get our first golden pickled fowl foot. This is going to give us 30% more runes, which is our currency and how we level up, for the next 3 minutes. Alright, once we've got that, we're going to head and get south. We're going to go to Wimpy Peninsula, the other starter area. Go ahead and just run past all these guys. I know I'm making this video for newer people, but this video could also be good for people who are a little more experienced. I mean, we've all made new characters, and you're just like, oh, where do I go first? What do I do? This is kind of the route I take for most of my second playthroughs. Make sure to hit that dude. Critical for this video. Alright. So we're at the bridge. Go ahead and make sure you don't get hit by this ballista. And then on this corpse right here is a second stone sword key. We don't actually need it for this video, but I mean, it's on the way, and you're going to need stone sword keys to get through different areas anyway, so let's pick it up. Alright, continue to go south, and we're going to pick up more golden seeds and more Estus Flask upgrades. There's a bonfire and a merchant over here. We'll come grab these. And I didn't mention, I did switch it to day, which is good because we have a Deathrite bird that lets us patrol this area during the night. Alright, golden seed. And we will pop all these at the end. Since we're not really fighting anything for a while, there's no real reason to sit down and pop them. Alright, go back up the hill, parkour your way up this mountain. And in here is going to be a church that has our next SS upgrade. Get him away. There you go. Alright, Sacred Tier. So we're going to go ahead and leave. And from here you want to get out of combat again and go back to that Castle Morn Rampart site of grace that we got earlier. Alright, from here we're going to go to the next church. There are 3 churches in the Weeping Peninsula and each one has a Sacred Tier, so we'll just hit them all right now. There we go. Want to go find the airstream, jump up, and then head to the church. Alright, once inside, we'll grab the grace, and then the Sacred Tier is just right back there, next to the statue. Thing of note here, that enemy right there has a chance to drop curved scavenger swords. Kind of one of the best weapons in the entire game if you want to farm them for a little bit. It is a very low drop chance, so you could be there for a couple hours, depending on how lucky you feel. Alright, now we're going to go to the 3rd church to get our last Sacred Tier. And then we will be done with Weeping Peninsula. There is 12 bosses in this area, so do come back here once you've leveled up. Go ahead and remove that pin, and we're going to go back to the 3rd Church of America, where we got our Wondrous Physick. Alright, from here we're going to want to go to this way. Go to the back and go left, and we're going to see we're going to see our first warp. This is going to take us to a preset location. Alright, we're in Grail's Dragon Barrow in Caelid. It's the top right corner of the map. So we don't want to be here at this level if we were playing normally. This is like a good 60 to 70 level area. But there's a golden seed and a few other things we need to do here. Alright, get this site of grace because the next little bridge does have a dragon on it. But we're just going to avoid him. And honestly, he's not too hard to avoid. Get under his wing, keep going. Alright, and then down here, do watch on your left. There is a poisoned erdtree avatar over there. He will kill you in one hit at this level. But here we go, another wind stream. Will take us up here. We're going to do 2 things at this fort. First thing, there is a sleeping dragon on our right that we're going to kill in just a little bit. But grab this site of grace, then we're going to go inside the fort. This is going to give us the other Dectus medallion piece that I talked about. But more importantly right there, that little orange glow, that's going to be our next talisman. If you're fast enough, you won't get poisoned by these guys like I did. Just make sure you're holding down sprint the entire time. You'll be fine. Again, we don't need this Dectus medallion piece, but I mean, it's right here. Let's just pick it up, you know, why not? Then we don't have to come back here for anything. Alright, drop down here. And then we're going to avoid this first hole and go into the second one. Some ghosts will start to spawn in. There are some rats down here, but as long as you're quick, you'll be alright. And if you do end up dying, just try again. There's no real penalty for it. Alright, jump over this way diagonally. And then we're going to drop down this hole. Don't worry about the ladder. You'll survive. And then, bam, there's our talisman, Radigan's Source Seal. So go ahead and die and respawn, or do what I do and just warp out. Alright, from here we're going to go ahead and kill this dragon. This dragon does not fight back, it just takes forever. So this dragon's got way more health than we'll be able to deal with, but because we have a bleed weapon, here, I'll show you a few hits. So bleed does percentage-based damage. No matter how big this enemy's health is and how little we're actually dealing with, bam. Just took 13,000 damage. So I am going to go ahead and stop the timer for just a little bit right here, because this is just mindless hacking and slashing. We're just waiting for bleed procs to come. I am playing this at 5 times speed, by the way. So the reason we're killing this dragon so early is because he drops a ton of ruins. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop that golden foul foot that we picked up earlier at the crucifix right when he's about to die. You can see his health bar in like the top left keep popping up. This should get us to about level 35. Alright, so there we go. That lost a little bit of health. A couple of more hits. Bam. And he's dead. Alright, go ahead and resume the timer. We get a dragon heart, and we get 96,500 runes. So we're going to go ahead and power level our character now. This would be the part when you can go ahead and do whatever build you want. But because we are in Caelid and sitting at our first set of grace, Mitochondria here is going to take us to Round Table Hold, which is like our hub area for this game. You have to go the first time, but we're just going to go right back to that site of grace that we're just at. Go ahead and sit down and level up. If you want to do faith or intelligence or strength, dex, whatever you want to do, this will be the time to actually go into your build. If you're curious, I went 20 health, about 20 stam, 17 strength, and 23 dex, I believe. Somewhere around there. Alright, we're going to go to our next church, which is just down this hill, for another sacred tier. We're going to go see a quest NPC in the corner, but we're going to avoid her right now. And we're going to go up one more golden seed. So we can go ahead and our flask up to +8, because at this point we do need 2 seeds per flask upgrade. So this parkour down here, it's really easy, don't worry. And then we're going to Salia for our last little upgrade piece. It's right by the church, we might as well grab it, right? Just run to the back, run up these stairs, golden seed, and then go ahead and get out of here. Make sure to hit one of these nerds on the way out. There you go. Alright, once we're out of combat, go ahead and go back to the church. Go to that anvil we saw earlier. Strengthen our armament to Uchikatana +1. And then go ahead and put all your golden seeds in. As I said earlier, this is going to get us to 8 flasks. You can allocate them however you want, all health or some mana, depending if you're going to be a spellcaster or not. And then get our flasks up to +5. So I'm going to go ahead and put on Radigan Sorcio for this next part. This part is optional. If you want a really strong weapon at the start of the game, we're going to go ahead and fight our first boss. If you don't want to do this, no problem, but let's check it out. At this level, you should have no problem with this boss. He might hit you a few times, but you'll be alright. Your flasks are overpowered. See, the main hit me, and that's not even a quarter of my health. Hit him with the stagger and the riposte. And kill him as he's standing back up. If he takes you a couple tries, no big deal. But the Bloodhound's Fang, his weapon, is absolutely insane. This weapon can carry you to the end of the game. But what good's a Bloodhound Fang if it's +0? So the last thing I'm going to show you is where to get 2 Somber Smithing Stones so you can get this to +2. And as a reminder, Somber weapons actually cap out at +10, whereas regular weapons take up to +25. So if it's your first playthrough, I do recommend doing a Somber weapon because they are much easier to upgrade than regular weapons. Alright, and there's our first Somber Smithing Stone 1. Right by the lake by the dead guy. And then we're going to go back to the Castlemorn Ramparts one more time. And go all the way to the bottom of the map. And we do have about 6,000 runes. So we'll have enough runes to actually level this weapon up as well. But yeah, this is an incredibly easy start. That'll get you through basically everything at the beginning of the game. Alright, go lift at the sword. You see a bunch of red jellyfishes, and then the somber smithing stone is over here. Alright, and that is time. 30 minutes and 24 seconds. I could have done it in sub 30, but you get the idea. Go ahead and go back to round table hold. Talk to our blacksmith here. Get your weapon to +2. Now, if you're curious and do want to see this in action, we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. As you can see, this weapon is very powerful, especially at +2 with our early rune access. And the Ash of War is nice. You get to do this little backstepping teleport and then run in and just finish off every enemy you see. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.